Hi.
Hi, Chris.
So you're going to cook this amazing classic today, which is the Nasi Ulam.
Yes, today we are looking at Nasi Ulam and all the herbs that we have in Malaysia. So we have on the herbs side, we have the cukor leaves, which is sometimes called the lesser galangal leaves, and then we have the kaffir lime leaves. So for this dish, it's actually essential to use the very young leaves you can find. The younger the better, because it's softer.
And then you see the older ones are, see?
Are darker, much darker, and it's much harder. So if you want to eat
it's very fragrant.
The leaves, try to find very young.
Yes.
So ideally, this is something that you snip in your back garden when it's growing very, very young leaves. Then we have the daun Kanduk.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like the ivy.
Very good ground cover in the gardens. You know, keeps the weeds down as
and
well.
These are actually from our garden at the Mews. So, yeah.
And then some mint and some turmeric leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And
they have to be very young turmeric leaves, otherwise they'll be quite chewy and bitter.
Yeah. And then you have the daun kasum or Jen Hong in Penang.
Isn't this like a bit over the hill? Like, you know, it's a bit too big? It's still okay,
It's still okay. We just trim off, get rid of the stalk in the center. So essentially, just a lot of time is to get. It's the heart center you need to get rid of as well. So that's quite important to get rid of and then trim off.
So let's show how the old ladies used to do this. How did they roll it up? I remember they rolled it up like a cheroot, right?
They did to make. So all these hard bits should be all trimmed off.
But I think we should also tell people about not to confuse the daun Kanduk with the sirih.
Sirih, yeah.
See, it looks very similar, easily confused. See, it's like, one is more like a...
One is paler, the sirih is paler. And then the growing is also quite different as well.
No, the sirih can be dark as well, you know.
Yeah, and it's a climber as well, rather than...
Yes, it's a climber. But both are bitter anyway.
It has, yeah. But both have different properties though. This is supposed to be anti-inflammatory.
And that's supposed to give you a high stimulant.
So you don't eat as much as well. Yeah, the ladies keep the diet going. So get rid of all the heart centers when you cut all these herbs. You need to get rid of the all this.
So there's a lot of pounding, cutting, and chopping up.
Yeah.
It's very laborious.
So they put all the leaves, the bigger leaf on the outside, and then they put the smaller.
Right.
So even the daun kasum and stuff can be added inside.
Right.
To put in. So then you just roll it all up as a little tight cigar. So
can you smoke that?
And then initially cut it very, very fine.
Careful with the nails there.
Have a very good knife, very sharp knife, preferably a fairly thin blade knife as well. That helps a lot. So that.
Having said that, you can use a different combination or whatever's in bloom or is looking fresh in the garden or at the market, because there's no fast rules about Nasi Ulam. I think
key different levels of herbs to give you different flavors, and the combination is essential with different sort of levels of flavoring in the process. Yeah, so we can have a look at what we prepared earlier. We can talk about the ingredients that go in.
So there's a lot of chopping and cutting there, and pounding.
Pounding as well, yeah. So inside here, we have all the herbs that's all cut finely. Yeah. So we have lemongrass, finely sliced. The torch ginger flower, so bunga kantan, also finely sliced.
Now the lemongrass has to be quite a young one, but otherwise it'll be very woody.
Woody, right? Yes. So you just sort of keep the white section at the bottom as much as you can. Try to look for young. So the idea of this dish as well is to use very young herbs and ingredients, as well as the torch ginger as well. The galangal, so the lengkuas, you have to look for very pink. Sorry. So if your galangal is very pink and then it's young, then it's soft. That's then easier to.
It smells. The difference between this and ginger is that it's very lemony, right? So
and quite woody pine. I think quite pine as well. So you have that as well, and then the turmeric. So this has all more of the earthy tones as well. Then you have
the flavorings.
Flavorings and more umami flavors of salted fish, dried shrimps,
This one's
coconut.
So how
pounded.
don't you fry that first?
Yes, it's soaked, pounded, and then sauteed just to bring out the flavor after pounded.
Because this is raw, right?
This is
Yeah.
Then you got a coconut, so
Then
the
wait,
Kerisik.
show people what the saltfish is.
Saltfish.
So this is basically the best ones are from Burma, right?
Yes. So this is the tanau gamhu.
The tanau is actually the tuna, is it not?
It's
Or snapper.
it's a thread fin, so it's quite a large fish.
And what are these black balls of earth doing here?
So we have salted duck eggs.
Now you don't use the black soil here, obviously.
No, the charcoal and the ashes. Yeah, you have to wash it out, then boil the duck eggs, and then chop it up.
Yeah.
So you have the duck eggs and then some shallots inside here as well. So then we just basically add the cold rice into this. So ground white pepper is very essential, I think. I think a pinch of salt will work as well is necessary. Even though there's salted duck egg and prawns and salt fish in there, but I think a little bit of salt always works as well. It just brings up the flavors.
I can smell all the different flavors coming out now.
So everything's just then tossed together. So this is a Burmese lacquerware, which Chris will explain.
Well, I suppose, that we can find a lot of that Burmese lacquerware still in Penang because it was on the steamship route from Rangoon to Penang and Singapore. So, I think even when I've been to Rangoon, I find it hard to find these old ones that I can find easily in Penang, and I just love to use them for, table art and to serve food in them.
What were they used for traditionally?
They're basically used for picnics or for gifts for the temple to the monks. So the best places to buy all these things in Burma is really in the temple shops.
Temple shop. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a.
So that's the normal version with the seafood in it, really, basically, and egg. So, but as I said, it's very easy to make the vegetarian version, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. So for the vegetarian version, we will just substitute the saltfish, the dried shrimps, and the duck egg with seaweed and some peanuts.
And I'm told that it actually turns rancid quite quickly, does it? Or because of the Kerisik?
The Kerisik will,
Yes.
but I think the salt is something that you do and eat fresh straight away. You wouldn't have this lying around for too long. Yeah. I
think I always saw it like an old person's dish, so when I was young I never really liked it. Let's see if my taste buds have changed.
Too healthy, I think for kids. And now I think people do may find this a bit too dry, and people will want something else.
I normally serve it with a few other Malay dishes, and because it's quite dry, I think it works quite well with something that enhances the flavor. So I think the sayur lodeh that we have at the Mews is quite a good accompaniment for it because it's a wet dish and it's seafood and herbs as well. So I think it does complement what we have there. And I think I always love serving it with some sort of a rendang as well, just the protein. Otherwise, I don't see it as a balanced meal. I definitely taste the umami flavors.
Right.
And the freshness of the herbs comes through. Okay, so what are we doing next week?
Next week you're going to look at rempas. So from from a basic rempa and with addition of other ingredients, we can use it as a base for other dishes.
I always like to talk about the master rempa.
Yeah.
For the master nonya rempa, then you add things to it, right?
Yes, we can do that next week.
Okay, well that's dinner done for tonight. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.